Hi, my name is John Ross, and I'm from the south side of Chicago. I experienced racism a lot when I was a kid. But I thought that by the time that I got to college in 1999 that racism would be like done and over with. In my first year of college, I was taking a Film Tech 1 class, and in film school, the whole objective is to learn how to work together as a group. The first day of school, nobody would talk to me. I was the only African American in class. Nobody would even smile at me, nobody would look at me. Every time I would try to, form a group with people, they wouldn't work with me at all. And so that first semester of my film school, that I had to do all my projects by myself. Not only that, but when I would do the projects and I would turn my film into the film cage, my film always got mysteriously lost. And I didn't understand what was going on. And so that prompted me to talk to the professor at the time. He said that, I can't say that it's this and I can't say that it's that. But what I will say is that because you're an African American male, you have to work that much more harder in order to succeed in the film industry. Racism still exists. And if you want to make it, it's just the way that the game goes.
In high school, my name was Lupe Herrera. My mom had decided to bus us to an all-girls Catholic high school where we attended, and the first 3 months of the high school was a bad experience. I would be picked up and tossed across the lockers. They would say, "We don't want your kind here," and they would walk away. And then that would be the norm. So anytime that we would walk through the hallways after the bell rang, we would have to make sure we were in class, because if you weren't in class, you would be the one, if you're Latin, to be picked up and thrown against lockers, and that was me.
My name is Eddie. I was born and raised in Hawaii. My parents were immigrants from Korea. They moved right before I was born. And I remember a particular event. My dad and I were on a tennis court. I was probably in elementary school. We were playing. There was another father-son pair waiting to play. That father eventually got impatient and started to get into it with my dad about, "Hey, your time is up. You should move on." And my dad said, "No, we're actually fine." And then this other person dropped the line, "Well, if you could speak the language and read, you would know that it was time for you to move on." Just a number of different emotions about it, also angry, also frustrated, and also a little confused because I knew my dad's story. Could speak 3 or 4 languages pretty well. Spoke Korean, spoke Japanese, spoke German. His English had a thick accent with it, but he could very easily read and write. He was a district attorney in Korea and gave up that kind of professional white-collar career to take on a blue-collar job in the US for a better opportunity for my brother and I. All of what he was experiencing, the frustration that he was having with that other gentleman, and his inability to articulate all of what was actually going on was a pretty poignant memory that I have.
Heaven is just this wide variety of different races, creeds, and all that. And I would really want us to resemble that. We are citizens of heaven, and we should act like citizens of heaven. I want us to be able to pull from each other's cultures and lives and hear and listen to each other's stories so it can make us complete. I remember when I was in college, my first year of college as well, that was my first time being introduced to different races and interacting with all these different races, meeting their families, seeing their culture. It made me a complete person. I really do feel that. I finally started living my life. And my life started at that point. And I think that it's the same thing here, that once we start to embrace each other's cultures, I feel like we would start to feel a little bit more whole and feel like that kingdom that God has always designed for us to be. That's what my dream is for here at Community Christian Church.
My hope for community is that we see each other the way God sees us. It's hard to love everyone, but God loves us. And if we can just see the value in each individual and bridge those things that separate us.
My wish is that every community member would just do the BLESS strategy with someone that's different than themselves. So the BLESS strategy has been well set up. It's working great within our church, and my sense of it is if people at community would just take stock and see, have I done the BLESS strategy, period? And if I have done it, have I done it with someone else that is different than me culturally, ethnicity, family of origin? Just go ahead and do that. It's pretty simple, pretty easy, and as we know, pretty effective. And I hope that that would be something that every community member in 2016 would go out and do, including myself.